Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Sports Ball with Palmer. And this is the third one today. I just wanted to break these up because it's just easier to break them up into a lot shorter videos. So, on this episode, I'm going to be talking about, oh man, K State's rough game against North Dakota on Saturday. Oh boy, that was super rough. Like, my goodness, that was a really they won again. Sometimes at the end of the day, that's all that matters is you got the victory, and they got the victory all right. But man, they had to avoid a major upset against North Dakota. So, mm, uh, I okay again. Is the Ireland hangover real? And again, more so talking about the loser of the game and not necessarily talking rest, although they have they mentioned it even I believe on the broadcast during the Ireland game, and I believe they mentioned it on the broadcast, and I know it's been brought up. It's more so like, especially like fatigue wise, that second game. So like that first game you play when you come back, like you're still kind of okay, and then like it kind of hits you a little bit more in that second game. So let's watch out for both Iowa State and Kansas State in this game. Uh, like seeing how their rest is, but I'm trying to look it up because I know I saw it on Twitter. I think I saved it. That's where we gotta go because obviously yesterday was Sunday, but maybe I didn't. Because someone showed the records of the losing team to lose that Ireland game then the following season. Hmm. Maybe not. I'll just look it up. Because I had it saved. I thought I had it saved. I can't find it, but they went back since this game has been brought back. The loser of this game, and that's where I say like kind of hangovers because then they ended up having a rough season. Now, some of those teams, like it was kind of expected a little bit, but Nebraska went 4-8. Navy went, I believe, 4-8 as well. Could be wrong. And then last year, Florida State went 2-10. So, and then now, question mark, what is Kansas State going to be this year? But that's kind of where we're talking hangover is like that loser. Then, kind of again, because you had that travel to Ireland and then you lost that game. Uh, like, what kind of season are they now going to be in for? And I'm not necessarily talking rest, although, again, could they have been fatigued in that game? I mean, maybe. And also, maybe they just played down to their competition a little bit in playing North Dakota. But, I mean, Iowa State beat South Dakota, who is a worse team than what North Dakota is, and they thoroughly dominated that game. So it's kind of like, okay, well, obviously Iowa State didn't, and I know people are going to be talking about that. Well, oh, hey, Iowa State didn't really have show any fatigue in their game. So why was it different for Kansas State? But man, they struggled in this game, especially defensively. I mean, even offensively, like there was they struggled in the running game. I mean, they didn't even they did crack 100 yards like total as a team, but they didn't have 100-yard rusher, and they kind of really struggled to run the ball at a lot of times in this game. I mean, again, yeah, you just look at the stats like, okay, Avery Johnson was 28 of 43 for 318 yards and three touchdowns. And then he added 43 yards on the ground. And then Joe Jackson was their leading rusher with 55 yards. And then, I mean, Jace Brown had over 100 yards receiving on 12 receptions and a touchdown. Jerron Tibbs had 3 for 55 and a tutty. I mean, and then Will Swanson, 2 for 46. So, I mean, obviously, like you kind of not always like you put up 38 points. Like you're going to see guys have at least a little bit good days statistically, but they just really struggled in this game, and especially on the defense. And I mean, they were upset alert at halftime, and then they came out, had a strong third quarter. I mean, they got 2 3-and-outs on the defense for 2 defensive stops, 2 3-and-outs. They forced to start the second half and had 2 scoring drives and, took the lead and pushed it out a little bit. And you're thinking, oh, okay, K-State's going to roll in this second half. It's like, fine, it was an ugly first half, but they continued to then still struggle in the second half. I mean, now Avery Johnson on their last drive. Now, again, all day it was miscommunication, again, struggling in the run game, especially blocking, drop passes, missed passes, just a lot of miscues that you typically don't see from Chris Kleinman teams. And I really hope Avery, I really hope Avery can be what he, when he was coming out of high school. Like, he was highly recruited, sought after, so, and just had a lot of expectations. So, I mean, I hope the expectations aren't getting to him. So I hope he shows improvement as this season goes on. But again, Kansas State has some really, really tough conference games, especially road games. Baylor, Utah, Oklahoma State. I mean, those are going to be some tough games. And again, it's a rivalry. I know they've won so many in a row. What, 16 or is it 17? They're going for 18. Forgive me. But that Kansas game might, just because it is a rivalry game and they have played them tough and tight the last 2 years. So I don't know. I mean, and they really can't afford to drop too many more conference games if they want to be playing in Arlington at the end of the season. And at this point, I don't think they are. I really don't think they're going to end up playing in Arlington. And I know they were one of the favorites coming into the season, one of the top 2-3 teams predicted to potentially go to Arlington. I think they were even the betting favorite. So, but man, now Avery Johnson came up huge on their last drive again, at least to start. those typical miscues were there. I mean, again, at least like obviously drop passes aren't typically on the quarterback. I mean, one of them, I mean, wide open, and it would have been a big game, big play, and he dropped it. Now, Avery Johnson did a lot of, especially again, he ended up with 43. A lot of that was on that last drive because he was using his legs to make plays, and they got down, went down, kicked the field goal. But then they immediately gave up a return to the on special teams, a return to the 35 yard line. Like, come on. But the defense answered the call on that on their last drive then too, uh, to preserve the victory and avoid a like huge upset loss to North Dakota, because North Dakota is not a good FCS school. Like they're gonna, I mean, they might end up, but they're really not that good of an FCS. So, and then now we got Army coming into town this Saturday, and the fact you kind of even struggled stopping the run and then in and running the ball yourself. Now you're like, yes, obviously, and they were in North Dakota. Obviously, is undersized compared to Kansas State, and Army is going to be undersized as well. But of course, they run the triple option, so they're going to. And I mean, these service academy teams, like they're coming in fighting hard every game, so they're going to give Kansas State a fight on Saturday. Now, again, it's kind of like, well, they should win these games before playing Baylor. I mean, yeah, I mean, Arizona's on the road, but they should beat Arizona, and then they should beat UCF. Now, UCF struggled in their week 1 game, and Arizona looked okay, but you still don't know what they are. So they should end up being 4-1 before they go to Baylor. But I'm not too confident in that right now. I mean, Army lost an upset game to Tarleton State, so they're probably going to come in a little bit extra fired up, so they aren't 0-2 to start the season. So Army is going to come in this weekend and give you everything they can handle. And just the way they played, man, I'm not too confident coming into this Army game now. I mean, after not that I was confident, but it was like, oh, okay, you should win these next 2 games, and even then, Arizona and UCF before going to Baylor, so you should be 4-1. But man, I don't know if it was just them playing down to their competition, or because it was like, I don't want to say they're a horrible team, but I mean, man, just they gotta show some improvement, especially on the defensive side of the football. And they were kind of an underrated unit, I felt like, coming into this season. And I don't want to say Kleiman is on the hot seat or should end up on the hot seat. I don't think so. I mean, he's still a really good coach, but you got to find a way to motivate this team. Now, at least, obviously, and I'm not saying like it's semi a blessing in disguise. Like, again, not that you want to lose that game, but because of the expectations on this team, obviously, now if you're not 4-1 going into that Baylor game, but you're now kind of, right hiding under the radar, and no one's really going to be talking about you until you're potentially, if you are 4-1 going into that Baylor game. But Baylor lost to Auburn, so now I'm not saying Baylor, like again, it's a non-conference loss, but so we'll see how they respond up until that game too. And then even in general, there was just a lot of sloppy bad games on, well, even Thursday and then Friday, and then just really all this weekend. I mean, I know technically Thursday is not, but So you're truly not going to know a lot about these teams until midway through September, into September, first part of October. Once, which I know, at least for Kansas State, it'll be in the middle of September because this Army game's their last non-conference game. But well, actually, technically, even Arizona is a non-conference game, which I find kind of crazy. I don't know how that. Although I think part of it is because I think they had already scheduled this series before Arizona joined the Big 12, so it was already there. So then now, obviously Arizona, but since the series is already are they, I assume that they just ended up agreeing to keep it as a non-conference game. So they actually Kansas State will have two more non-conference games before they kick off their conference home opener against UCF. So at least that's kind of good. That's a little bit good, but man, you got to bounce back Saturday. You like again, the end of the day, when we and I've said it. I know, and it's a common saying, but I would rather win ugly than lose pretty. And was Saturday ugly? Oh yeah, absolutely. Saturday was ugly for Kansas State, but it was a win. So at the end of the day, find a way to win and maybe find a way to get to Arlington. Not too confident in that. So I mean, had they looked better and had Army not lost, kind of going back and forth here. I mean, obviously, when I did the going over the schedules before the season, I mean, again, that's just kind of like high overview. Like it's easy to be like, okay, that could be a win, should be whatever. But so I don't feel it being like Benedicting because again, you find out more about these teams each week that they play. Is there a spread on this game? I know it's Monday, but it's Monday. Usually there's some, even Sunday, you see some initial spreads. I'm not seeing an initial, at least on ESPN, and I'm not going to like completely look, but at least on ESPN, I don't see a line. I would still assume K State's going to be favored in this game because they obviously are at home. But I don't see them being favored by more than a field goal. I'd probably see them only being like 33.5 point favorites. And I could see that. I could see him only winning by a field goal. I think they do still end up winning this game. It's going to be close, though. I feel like this is going to be another close game, just like last week. And it's going to be a fight and a battle. Because, again, Army's going to bring it. And especially because they don't want to go 0-2. I'm going to say K-State barely. K-State barely wins this game. But I'm going to pick Kansas State. So, and I don't think they're going to be looking ahead to Arizona. So, but man, they gotta be better in this game. Honestly, I feel like they even have to come out and blow Army out and look just a lot better. But I really feel like Army is going to give them a game, and Army might even upset. But I am going to pick Kansas State again. So, but hey, college football's back. Excited for another weekend of action coming up. So, and this week it's not as spread out. I didn't see any. Now there's probably FCS games, but I only saw some game. It was only Friday and then Saturday. Although kind of makes sense, especially with NFL kicking off. Obviously, NFL kicking off Thursday, and then Chiefs and Chargers will play Friday night. So then, of course, there's no Sunday. And there's other than when we get to bowl season, but even then, I don't think there'll be any games on Sunday. There usually hasn't been. So there rest of the season there won't be any Sunday college games. At least FBS. There might be FCS, but at least FBS because again they're not going to try and compete with NFL on Sunday. So, but again, hey, until February between NFL and college, we won't have a weekend without football. So, hey, football is here. It's back. Let's go. So, Ema, keep it up. Try and get this win this week. Again, just win. Keep stacking wins. So, I know there's some K-State, one specifically. I know that's probably going to watch this video. At least I hope, but let's hope Kansas State doesn't fall off this year. And yeah, I really hope they can have a good season. So, but thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. On my next video, I am going to be talking about Michigan's victory Saturday over New Mexico, and then looking ahead to their big-time matchup this Saturday night in Norman, Oklahoma. So please tune into that episode because that is what I'll be talking next. So, and I said it on previous, but again, just in case you didn't watch those, but I hope everyone had a great Labor Day and had a great Labor Day weekend. And I hope you guys had some good, relaxing time with friends and family. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And have a great Labor Day and Monday night. Thank you. And again, Emo.